All right. Welcome back to another episode of Hondo's Blockbuster, the final episode of the year. All right. This has been an amazing first year for us. So I do want to kick this off by just saying thank you for tuning in. If you're new around here, welcome. I'm glad this is your first episode. If you are new around here, we do a lot of movie drafts, movie rankings, talks, reviews. If you like movies, this is the place to be. And if you're not new around here, really appreciate you guys tuning in this year. I mean, again, we launched this year. This is our year one, and it has been nothing but amazing. So just a giant thank you to all who's not only listened, anybody who's joined in on the drafts, and as always, my buddy Pooch, baby, the super producer who is behind the camera right now. All right, him, Antonio, and Dre, of course, we're here at the theatrical studio. So amazing first year. But today's episode, we are going to be ranking every movie that I have seen this year. All right. That will be a tally of 31, all right? My 2026 resolution is to up that number big time because there's so many good movies out there, and there's definitely a few I have missed on this list, but for now, I will rank all 31 that I saw this year, and this is going to be my favorites. This is not a definitive list. This is not even the best, what I think are the best movie. These are my favorite. These are the ones that I connected with the most. These are the ones that I want to rewatch, the ones that couldn't leave my mind after walking out of the theater or even at home. So with that, this is also not going to be full reviews. Like, I'm not going to go into super depth on all of them. Some will be longer than others. Some new ones that I haven't had a chance to talk about on this channel, specifically two that I just saw over the weekend that I am very excited to rank them. But yeah, I think that nails everything, all right? So without further ado, let's jump right in. All right, well, there has to be a last place. And last place, in terms of the movie that is my least favorite of the year, was a movie that I actually was really excited for, and that is going to be Springsteen, Deliver Me From Nowhere at number 31. Jeremy Allen White was great. I love Jeremy Allen White. I'm not a huge Bruce Springsteen guy, so I don't know how accurate it was, but I thought he did a good job. Like, he was great. But this movie is so damn boring. It just wasn't for me. And I like biopics for the most part. Like, I have no issues with musical biopics, just biopics in general. And this one it was a dole to get through. It was a 2-hour movie that felt like 4. Just wasn't for me, unfortunately. So it will land at the last place spot. All right, coming in at number 30, we've got Jurassic World Rebirth. This was one that, talk about probably one of the most disappointing movies of the year. Me and Dre were big time Jurassic Park people, all right? Jurassic Park, the original, is one of my favorite movies of all time, top 10. I've even liked almost all of the other ones, right? There's a few in there that are absolutely not good, that I do not like, but for the most part, I've enjoyed them. This one was a huge letdown. I thought it could have been a new, fresh take, a new, fresher breath of air, and instead it recycled a lot of stuff that were negatives of some of the other ones, and it just did nothing new for me. And the dinosaurs, don't even get me started on dinosaurs. Those are not dinosaurs. Those are mutants, all right? Those are not dinosaurs. That threw me off already, and then throw in this weird family dynamic, and it was just all over the place. Unfortunately, was not a fan of Jurassic World Rebirth. All right, coming in at number 29, this is a Netflix movie and a long-awaited sequel of a comedy classic, a one that I've got right here. I got a couple Funkos right here because I love the original. The original is my favorite Adam Sandler movie. So unfortunately, Happy Gilmore 2 finds itself at the 29 spot. All right. Again, it just didn't feel. It's first off, it's not nearly as good as the original, and it didn't have that magic, right? And a lot of these, spiritual or I guess revival sequels usually don't. This one was just like kind of a big cameo fest, and I thought it was, especially the first half, it took me a little while to get through. Some of the cameos worked, some of them didn't, and it wasn't like a waste of my time, but I just wish it was a little bit better. All right, coming in at number 28, we've got Lilo and Stitch. Lilo and Stitch, I love the original animated cartoon. I really do. I love the character of Stitch. It's just this one is a remake, a retelling, just in live action, and sometimes those don't translate as well. And unfortunately, this one it's not that this movie was bad by any means. It was almost spot on with the original. Just, I'm not going to go back and really run to rewatch this one. And there was another animated movie to live action that I thought did it so much better that this one just kind of has moved down my list. But it's an enjoyable enough kids movie, and yeah, I don't hate this movie. Just it's low on the list. All right, coming in at number 27, we've got Age of Disclosure. We got a documentary on this one. All right, I was like, does it count? Does it count? Screw it, I'm tossing it in here. This is probably my dad's most anticipated movie. He loves the aliens discussion and what's out there, the UAPs. And I thought it was interesting enough, but also there's just this, there wasn't enough, right? And it wasn't as like I really did enjoy it for the most part. I find it interesting. It's just I feel like there's a lot missing, and I thought it would be more. I thought there'd be more uncoverings and more info. But still, if you're into that stuff, I think it's definitely worth the checkout because I mean, if they're here, which I do believe they are, then oh boy. Hey, listen, if they're here, they haven't done anything to us yet. So I'm pro alien. All right, these aliens, you want to come check us out from Mars or wherever you're from, come on Hondo's Blockbuster to talk about it. But Age of Disclosure, it was okay. It was good. Just, I'm not going to watch it again. All right, coming at number 26, we got Ballad of a Small Player. This was not a wide release. This was got a limited release, and it was on Netflix. And it's starring Colin Farrell in a movie about this guy who's a gambler, down on his luck, trying to make his way back. And those type of movies I love. I love, casino gambling type movies. This one just, while it wasn't bad, it kind of takes like a mystical turn in it that just kind of took me a little bit out of the movie. It also drags a little bit. But there's some really cool elements. I thought Colin Farrell was great in it. I thought he delivers a great performance. But overall, the movie was okay. It's going to come in at number 26. All right, coming in at number 25, I think this was the first movie I saw this year in terms of wide release, and that is Captain America: Brave New World. Another one that I actually think is better than what most people say it is, but it just not as memorable as some of the other MCU movies. And unfortunately, in these phases of 4 and 5, although I think it kind of ranks in the middle, I don't think it's nearly close to the worst. It's just not one that I'm running to go back to like a lot of these MCU movies. So unfortunately, it's coming in at 25. All right, at 24, this is going to be my most controversial take yet. At number 24, we've got One Battle After Another. All right, I'll sit and talk about this one a little bit, okay? Because One Battle After Another is going to most likely probably win Best Picture. It's got all the steam. It's got a bunch of actor nominations. It's probably going to win any PTA, things like that. I myself am not a PTA guy. I'm just not. His movies, they don't feel like they're for me. I just don't like the style. I don't like the stories. The story is really where I have issues with this movie. I think this movie, to PTA's credit, is shot beautifully. I think this movie looks gorgeous, right? It really is. There's performances almost across the board, which I'll get to that. I think were really good. I thought Leo was amazing. I thought Benicio del Toro was amazing. I would have preferred a movie with just them two, right? Just focusing on that storyline. Chase Infinity was amazing. But there's two characters in particular that I wasn't really sold on their performance, and I think that's why I have it much lower than most, and that is Sean Penn, who's probably the favorite to win Best Supporting Actor, and everyone is raving about his performance. And it's not that it was bad for me. It's just, it was a bit too cartoonish that it kind of took me out every time. Like, his storyline for me wasn't as intriguing as Leo and Benicio del Toro. And then Tiana Taylor's character, who's in this movie for maybe 15 minutes, who she's getting ran as Best Supporting Actress. I think that's kind of crazy. I don't think I didn't personally like her character or her performance. I thought, I just wasn't a fan. And I think Chase Infinity should be in that supporting role because I think she is a supporting character, and she, in my opinion, was the best actress in the movie. So, yeah, One Battle is just, again, it looks beautiful, an amazing score, and some really great performances, but the story for me just didn't work. People were like saying this is the first off, there's a couple things, right? I saw it a little bit later than most. I didn't see it opening weekend. And so the hype train of this is the best movie of the year. This is the best movie of all time. This is the best movie. I was like, this is a great PTA's action movie. So I went in with super high expectations. And unfortunately, it didn't live up to it. It really didn't. And yeah, I just first off, it's not an action movie. That's and again, I'm an action movie guy, big dumb dumb. It's okay. That's a me thing. That's, people say it's an action. I didn't feel any action. Like, for example, there's the car chase at the end. Everyone's like, oh my God, it's the best scene of the year. I don't get it. I really don't. I don't get it. Just, for me, it was boring. It just this movie, I just don't get it. I know this is like film Twitters and film like these film guys like favorite of the year. It just didn't work for me, unfortunately, and I wish it did, but it is not. So it is definitely low on my list, and that's probably my most controversial pick. All right, coming in at number 23, we've got Friendship, starring Tim Robinson and Paul Rudd. This is a fun and absolutely absurd movie. I mean, if you like Tim Robinson, I'm not someone who doesn't like Tim Robinson. I don't know much of his work outside of like things I see on Twitter or Instagram or whatever, which I think he's hilarious. So this is actually my first introduction to him in a full feature length or big type project. And I really don't let the ranking fool you. I actually did enjoy it. And I actually think from this point up, I enjoy these movies more than I dislike them, right? They're just lower on the list in terms of where I rank them. But I did enjoy this one a decent amount. It's just a little, again, it's a little too much at times. It's a bit absurd and so uncomfortable, which I do like that a lot of the time. But like, it was almost so uncomfortable at points that I'm just like, oh my God, what am I watching? But it's a crazy, weird movie, and if you're into that, it's definitely worth a watch. If you're not into that, probably a pass. But yeah, Friendship's coming in at 23. All right, coming in at number 22, we've got The Running Man, one of my most anticipated of the year. I love Glenn Powell. That is one of my guys, and it looked like an awesome action movie, and it's based on a book. They obviously had the Arnold movie, which is very different from this one, but I had very high expectations for this one, and unfortunately, a bit of a letdown. Again, I didn't hate this movie. There's things I enjoyed about it, but I didn't enjoy it as much as I really wish I would have, and I thought I was going to. And some of the action's well done, some of it's not. I think the PG-13. Oh, sorry, it's a rated R movie that feels like it's PG-13, which kind of lost a little bit of luster there. And yeah, it drags for points, and some of the aesthetics when it leaves the city stuff, it just didn't work for me as well. So again, this was one that let me down a little bit. I still thought Glenn Powell was amazing, and I thought Josh Brolin was actually really good at me. But the standout was Coleman Domingo. He's an absolute star, and he is awesome in this one. But again, have to rank this one a little bit lower because there were just other movies that I like better. Coming in at number 21, another one that got a limited release, but it is a wide release in terms of Netflix, and that is a Knives Out, the newest Knives Out movie, Wake Up Dead Man, starring Josh O'Connell and Daniel Craig, amongst a bunch of other A-list actors, Mila Kunis, Jeremy Renner, just to name Glenn Close. You know what I mean? So a lot of standout actors and performances in this that I think were really pushed to the side. I thought the side characters. One of the biggest things about Knives Out is that the side characters are so interesting and such a pivotal point to the movie. And this one, they felt kind of sidelined, and this was really a Josh O'Connell movie, which is why I actually think this is higher on my list than you'd think, right? Like 21 seems kind of low. I am not a big Knives Out guy. I'm just not. The franchise just, for me, doesn't work as well, although I do think Daniel Craig is awesome in these. I really did not like the second one, and the first one's okay. But this one, I thought was probably on par with the first one. I enjoyed most of it. I love Josh O'Connell. I think actually Josh O'Connell gave probably one of the top 5 best performances of the year. I really believe that. I thought he was really, really good. But it's just the story, and I know people are like, oh, the point of this movie is not guessing who did it, but like for me, it's a whodunit that I guess within the first 15 minutes of the movie. So it's just like, I don't know, it's not as creative as I'd like it to be. And I also thought Daniel Craig was sidelined in this one, which I thought was a bit strange. But again, I'm glad it was for Josh O'Connell because he killed it. So an enjoyable movie. I'm just not the biggest fan of this franchise, and this one is kind of on par with the first one. All right, coming in at number 20, we've got Wicked for Good. Please, nobody tell my wife that is this low on the list, but unfortunately, honey, this is where it stands at number 20 on this list because for me, I'm not a Wicked guy. I wasn't like pumped for this movie. When I saw the first one, I thought the first one was actually really good. I actually am a huge fan of the first one. I actually think it's probably one of the better musicals out there. So I was actually, I had pretty high expectations for this one because I'm like, if it's anything as near as good as the first one, I think I'm really going to enjoy this. Unfortunately, it is not as good as the first one or even really as close. The music isn't as memorable as the first. I will say Cynthia Erivo and Ariana Grande are good as always, and they really carry this movie. And it has enough. I actually like the world that they built, and I think the music's good enough for me to like enjoy it well, that one time I'm probably going to see this movie, but like the first one, I can go back and rewatch at any point. The music's catchy, memorable. This one just didn't have that. It didn't have those memorable moments, and it felt a bit rushed. So, yeah, Wicked for Good landing in at number 20. All right, coming in at number 19, we've got Jay Kelly, another Netflix movie that came out starring George Clooney and Adam Sandler. This is Adam Sandler's second Netflix movie on this list, and in my opinion, the better one. Adam Sandler, I thought, actually gave a standout performance, and I hope he gets some recognition for this role because he's really good. He's really good. And this is a movie kind of like it toes the line of being pretentious, but it's good enough for me that I enjoyed it. Like this type, the movies about movies have a soft spot for me. It is right up my wheelhouse, and this is kind of about it. It's more about this one actor's kind of look back at his life, if like his decisions were worth it. And I like a lot of what they did in this movie, but again, sometimes it toes the line of being so pretentious that I'm just like, ugh. Like it's like, all right, come on, let's move it along. But overall, I actually did enjoy this one quite a bit. And I think it's worth it if you're into that type of stuff. I thought George Clooney was good too. So if you like movies about movies, definitely give it a watch. I thought it shot really well and interesting. So yeah, Jay Kelly coming in at number 19. All right, coming in at number 18, we've got the next MCU movie on this list, and that is Fantastic Four: First Steps. This one, a bit lower than I thought it was going to be when they first announced it, or even when I saw that first trailer. I thought aesthetically it looked beautiful. I actually liked most of the casting, if not actually pretty much all the casting. I didn't like some of the decisions they made with some of the characters, but that's neither here nor there. I enjoy this one. I thought this was definitely a step up from Captain America: Brave New World. However, it was not the best MCU movie of the year, which I will get to. But yeah, this one's a little bit of a letdown. This one was one that not only felt rushed, it felt like they cut out like a good 20 to 30 minutes of this movie that I thought that it really needed. There's points in this movie, I like the intro. I really love the stuff they do in space, but then it's like a jump cut. And I feel like you're missing so much context here that you can tell they really cut out because you can hear the actors talking about the behind the scenes being like, talking about stuff that just doesn't translate to this movie. So, and then that plus Galactus, honestly, being a weak-ass villain. I mean, I was pumped for Galactus. He's supposed to be this huge threat, literally huge, larger than life, and he gets defeated very easily. I thought it was, again, the finale was just, I was not a big fan of the finale. The finale probably really took it back because I really enjoyed Acts 1 and 2. I really thought they were really well done. Act 3 really drops the ball. So, fortunately, Fantastic Four is at 18. Again, one that I enjoy, but I haven't rushed to go back and see. So for that, it's hitting 18. All right, number 17, we're going Ballerina from the World of John Wick. I think, honestly, from here on up, I really enjoy these movies. I thought 2025 was a really good year for movies. So 17 and up, I actually really enjoyed. And this is one that I actually really enjoyed. I like the fact that they didn't just make this John Wick that's a girl. They gave her own not only story, they gave her kind of her own abilities, her own fighting style, her own way of going. And then obviously the inclusion of John Wick and being in that world is always a blast to be in. And John Wick, Keanu Reeves, kills it as always in a small part. But I thought Ana de Armas did really good as this protagonist. So I thought some of the kills, incredible, just on par with the rest of the franchise. So yeah, I really enjoyed this one. So yeah, anything 17 and up, it's good. All right, coming in at number 16, The Naked Gun, the reboot starring Liam Neeson. This movie is actually freaking hilarious. All right, I didn't get to see this one in theaters, so I would have loved to watch this with a crowd that was laughing their ass off. Unfortunately, I didn't have that experience, but I was still laughing my ass off by myself watching this movie. It is so ridiculous. It is a parody. It is, they're riffing off, other spy cop type movies like the original did. And I thought it was just a really good job of how they tied this one with the original. And yeah, I really thought it was well done and really funny, like really funny. So for a comedy to be this funny, we're kind of I feel like comedies are kind of making a comeback, but we've been in a little bit of a drought. This one was good to see. And so I've got The Naked Gun at 16. Coming at number 15, we've got Predator: Badlands. This was one that probably shocked me the most. Went with my dad to go see this one, and I was excited because I love the Predator, the original one with Arnold Schwarzenegger. But I'm not like a huge Predator guy. I'm not like somebody who's kept up with the franchise really. But I was like, let me go check this one out. And this one actually kind of blew me away. I really, really enjoyed it. I thought this was It was really well done and way better than expected. I like where they took the Predator and making him the main protagonist and making this Predator have to go on this crazy adventure on this planet that's this death planet that he basically everything wants to kill him. And I like the team up that essentially he goes on. He teams up with this cyborg robot played by Ali Fanning, who's great in the movie, and then this like monkey creature. I don't really know. It's kind of wild if you're listening to me talk about it, but I think if you like action movies, this is definitely one you got to see. And this is one that is PG-13 that feels like it's rated R. The way that they were able to get through, because they're basically just killing a bunch of cyborgs, but it's basically blood and guts, but they're blue, so they can get away with it. And the action I thought was really cool. So Predator Badlands, definitely worth a watch, and definitely higher on this list than I thought it was going to be when I went to go watch it. All right, coming in at number 14, we've got a kids movie, and we've got Zootopia 2. Zootopia 2, I am a huge fan of the original, and I thought Zootopia 2, not as good as the first, but I thought a very, very well done sequel where they do take certain things from the first and they bring it over to this one in terms of kind of the plot, but they do enough that is different, and they have a great twist in this movie that I will not spoil since it's kind of semi-new still, that I thought was really well done. It's just a fun world to be in, and I think it's really creative and it's really well done in the way that they have brought this world to life and made. They have like little Easter eggs for stuff in the real world, translating to these animals, and I don't know. I just love that world. I think it's so fun, creative, and yeah, I think it's a great sequel. All right, coming in at number 13, like I mentioned with Lilo and Stitch, there was a animated movie that made a way better live action, and that is How to Train Your Dragon. I thought this movie was awesome. I really did. I thought this was so well done, and as somebody who I've definitely seen the original, but I didn't really remember it as much going in, that I felt like this. I was seeing this for the first time, and it really blew me away of how good it was. It looks great. The story's great. Like I guess even quote unquote animation of the dragons look awesome and how they incorporated. Gerald Butler's good. Mason Thames is great. So I don't know. This was a really fun one. In terms of live action remakes, this might be my favorite one ever. Like that's how good this one was. It's first off, it's a perfect franchise, right? Some of these live action remakes, like there's no need. Again, Lilo and Stitch, it's not a bad movie, but was there ever a need for a Lilo and Stitch live action? Not really. This one translates so well. I'm very excited to see where they take from it. I hope they do that for the other sequels. I will be seated. All right, coming in at number 12, we've got Caught Stealing, starring Austin Butler. This was one that I saw a little bit later. I know it came out earlier in the year. I saw it a little bit later, and I love this movie. I thought this movie kind of had me on the edge of my seat. I loved Darren Aronofsky's like storytelling, and it's fast paced and different. The different stories intertwining, a bunch of different characters, and you're following this one guy, Austin Butler, who's kind of just like really on bad luck. And it does take a very dark turn that really caught me by surprise. But overall, I actually really, really enjoy this, and I really think Austin Butler. I mean, first of all, I think he's a superstar. I think he's fantastic, and I think that him carrying this movie, he did so well. And so I've been actually recommending this to a bunch of people. Shout out Tico. I know it's like right up his alley. I think that if you like thrillers and I guess what's the term? I guess thriller, but like kind of fast paced mysteries. This is a great one to watch. All right, before we get to the top 10, we've got to go to 11, and that is going to be Thunderbolts. Thunderbolts is the best MCU movie of the year, and in my opinion, it's not even close. I think this movie is actually amazing. I've had it in my top 10 for a while. A few movies that I've seen recently kind of bumped it out, and the one actually ahead of it, I go back and forth with, all right? And I will discuss it right after, because I actually had Thunderbolts ranked ahead of it in my end of summer rankings. But as the fall has come on, I've seen this other one just a few more times, and I've just couldn't leave mine. But nonetheless, Thunderbolts is really, really good, all right? Thunderbolts was one that I was excited for because I like the characters. I love Florence Pugh. I love Sebastian Stan. I love Dwight Russell, Red Guardian, David Harbour, like the characters I liked, right? And I was expecting this kind of more grounded story, which is what we got. I thought Lewis Pullman, Sentry was incredible. I thought the way that they tackled kind of mental health and taking the movie kind of in a different direction, especially the third act, instead of it. Yes, there's obviously big action, but the third act is really kind of you're inside Sentry's mind and you're going through different things, and the topics of it were were really well done, and I really do love this movie, I'm excited for the Thunderbolts to continue, and I'm excited to see what they do with them in Doomsday. But yeah, I'm actually really shocked. I did not think that this would be my number one MCU movie, but here we are. All right, coming into the top 10, we've got a number 10, Superman. All right, this is controversial because my dad hates this movie and he won't stop talking to me about it. But I just can't help, but I love it. I love this movie. It is not without its flaws. There are flaws, that is for sure. I just think that David Cornsweet is so damn good as Superman, and he embodies the character so well, and the message of hope. And it's a movie that just makes me feel good. And it's a movie that did not leave my mind after I watched it. I've seen this movie now 4 times since it's come out, and it's actually jumped the Thunderbolts. I think the Thunderbolts is a better movie, by the way. I want that noted on a record. I really do think the Thunderbolts is better than this movie, but just the way that Superman makes me feel and the fact that I want to keep rewatching it and I want to keep watching David Cornsweet Superman, I had to put it over it, and I had to put it to kick out the top 10 because I really did love this movie. I know it's very divisive in the sense of, you've got the Snyder fans, you got the people who love Man of Steel, a lot of them hate this movie, like my dad. I like that movie too. I love Man of Steel and I like the Snyderverse, but I also really like this movie and I like David Cornsweet. I think he's a perfect Superman, and I'm very excited for what's to come. All right, coming at number 9, this is a movie that has not been widely released. This is a movie that has been touring film festivals and it's touring colleges, so not everybody has been able to see this. Luckily for me, we were able to go see it, and we had the director here in studio, and that is Billy Knights. I know it might not technically be a 2025 movie. I saw it in 2025, so I'm counting it. I won't say much about it since it hasn't come out yet, but as somebody who loves movies, this felt like a movie that was made for me. It is a movie that I connected with personally at a different level, and I really enjoyed it. Seeing Al Pacino is always amazing, but it's just a story of the love story within it. I thought Diana Silvers was amazing, and Charlie Heaton was really good too. I don't know. I really like this movie. I want to see. First of all, I can't wait to see it again. But it connected with me on a different level, and it's kind of pertained perfectly to me as someone who obviously clearly loves movies. This is a movie about loving movies while also figuring out yourself, like finding the spark, and while also having to deal with this love story. So I don't know. I can't wait till everyone sees this one, but for me, I'm putting it at number 9. All right, at number 8, this is one that came out earlier in the year, and I just saw it for the first time last week, and that is Sinners, starring Michael B. Jordan playing a dual role. I thought Michael B. Jordan, again, maybe after this list, I might do a quick top 5 best performances of the year, in my opinion. Michael B. Jordan is in that list, all right, because this movie rocks. The reason why it took me so long to see this one is because I'm not a horror guy. It's one of the reasons I haven't seen Weapons yet, so you will not see Weapons on this list. But you will see Sinners because I finally just said, screw it, I'm going to watch it. And while it is technically a horror movie, and yes, it's a vampire movie, it just, for me, it's more than that. And I thought that the characters and Michael B. Jordan specifically is just so damn good in this movie. He's playing 2 characters, and all the surrounding characters are just so damn good. I thought the action was well done. I thought the vampire lore was really cool. And again, I'm not somebody who's a vampire guy, so the fact that they were able to make me interested in it is impressive in itself. And I know this is probably Josh Allen's least favorite movie, so for that, it gets bonus points for me. All right, coming in at number 7 is the latest movie that I have seen, and that is Avatar: Fire and Ash. All right, Avatar, I freaking love Pandora, man. I love this franchise, which is crazy because I wasn't a huge fan of the first one. I really wasn't. Of course, I went to go see it like all the 2 billion people went to go see this movie because of the spectacle and the world. But I wasn't a huge fan until I saw Way of Water. Way of Water for me was so damn good that it made me fall in love with this world. And what James Cameron is able to achieve with these movies is incredible. So Fire and Ash, where does it stack up? I don't think it's as good as the second one. I do still think Way of Water is better, but I have it right behind it at this 2 slot. I think that the only negatives for this movie is that it's really long, all right? And the second one is long, but it flows smoother. It's quicker and it's easier to watch. This one, you do feel the runtime, or at least I did. but it also repeats a lot of the same things of the second one, which I thought was kind of weird, right? Like there's a lot of like specific moments in this movie that already happened in the second one that they're retreading that. Like I thought that's the reason why I kind of like have to bring it back a little bit, because it really when I'm watching, I'm like, I've seen this before, you know? But the reason why it's at number 7 is because, again, this world that James Cameron created is so incredible. There's really nothing like it. Like, there's nothing like seeing an Avatar movie in theaters. It's an experience that, again, like I can't even explain. Like, if you don't feel certain things in these movies, I don't know what to tell you, man. I feel like I am so locked in, and I get it. They're long, whatever. For me, I just love living in this world. I think Jake Sully is awesome, but the standout is Quaritch. He is probably one of the coolest villain characters. He's given more to do in terms of like the dynamic with him and Sully. I thought was really well done in this movie. Again, it just came out, so I'm not going to spoil anything. Zoe Saldana is great, but the new Fire Avatar girl, I don't know her name. She's also awesome, and that clan that they introduced in this movie is badass. So again, it's just a cool movie. I love this world. I love seeing this in theaters. So for that, it's coming in at number 7. All right, coming in at number 6. This actually might be the best movie of the year. This is the movie that I think is the most well made. This is the movie that it is truly incredible to see in theaters, and that is Warfare. All right, Warfare. The reason why it's at 6 is it's so damn intense that I just don't want to, like, I can't just like, oh, pop on Warfare. Like, I think it was like a one-time experience that I don't want to experience for maybe a couple more years. It's so damn realistic. I love how it's told in like real time, and it makes you feel like you are there. You're part of this group, and it's scary as hell because it shows you truly the horrors of war, right? And it's told, and oh my god, I'm just reimagining the movie. I saw this thing in Dolby. The sound, the explode, like I'm jumping out of my seat like at these things. Like it's a truly an amazing movie experience, and definitely one of the best of the year. And it's coming at number 6 in my favorites of the year. All right, we have made it to the top 5, my 5 favorite movies of 2025, and we're starting it off at number 5, The Smashing Machine, Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson, baby. He freaking did it. All right, he stepped out of his comfort zone, and he made a movie that he's been dying to make. It's a movie that it's not, Dwayne's a big action guy, big action hero. He's basically the modern day Schwarzenegger, but he steps out to a dramatic role that fits him so perfectly, and he knocks it out of the park. Yes, this movie is not for everybody. It is slow, and it feels kind of like a documentary, to be honest. But I was so blown away and locked in with Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson's performance, and as well as Emily Blunt's performance, who I thought is incredible. So for me, I love this movie. As someone, obviously, I'm a big Rock guy, so I was invested more than maybe some other people are. But for me, just seeing him give it his all and do it so well, he deserves the recognition that he better be getting. He already got nominated for a Globe. I hope he gets more, and I hope he picks up that Academy Award nomination. However, he will not win because there's somebody else on this list that I will definitely talk about. But The Rock deserves his flowers, and he better get nominated because this movie is incredible, and it's because of him and Emily Blunt. All right, coming in number 4, I had to talk about it. It's my guy Tommy, Mission Impossible: The Final Reckoning. This is the second best blockbuster, all right, of the year. And Tommy did not let us down. I mean, this guy's hanging off planes. That 30-minute plane sequence alone is worth the price of admission, as is the 30-minute submarine sequence, all right? Just taking those 2 scenes, you can scrap the entire rest of the movie. Those 2 scenes would make the top 4 of this year, all right? But the fact that it was the culmination of this entire franchise, so they say, it was just so damn awesome to see. It's so well done. Yes, it's another one that it drags a little bit more than some of the other ones in terms of they're setting up so much stuff, and they really, I guess, don't believe that anybody saw the last one, that they have to rethread, like basically show so many flashbacks. But just seeing Tom Cruise doing it again in Mission Impossible will get me every time, and they ramp the stunts to another level, and it's just the ultimate movie theater experience. It really is. I cannot help but love this damn franchise, and this movie is just so damn good. I love it, and I love rewatch. I've rewatched that plane sequence probably 10 times. I can't get over how good that scene alone is. And then the summary. All right. I can be talking about Mission Impossible for the rest of this episode, but let's move on. It's so damn good. All right, coming in at number 3 is one that absolutely caught me by surprise, and that is This Thing On? It is a movie starring Will Arnett, Laura Dern, and Bradley Cooper, directed by Bradley Cooper. This is one that just came out, but I was able to go see it a couple months ago with Tico at a Miami Film Festival showing, and this movie blew me away in the sense of like, that is probably the most I've laughed in a theater with a crowd in a long time. Like, it is not only legit funny, it is so heartfelt, emotional, and sad at points. Like it was making me feel different emotions throughout it, and it's so well acted. I think Will Arnett is another one that deserves so much damn love. That like I haven't been hearing too much noise about this movie, and I think that's unfair to it because I really do think everyone should go watch this movie. Easily one of my favorites of the year, and I can't wait for it to get the wide release because I know it's out now, like in a few places, but it's not having that wide release. I want to go see it again and go support this movie because it is really damn good, really funny, and just, yeah, this thing tugs at your heartstrings, man. It's a good one. All right, coming in at number 2, this is the movie that I've had at number 1 all year long, and it has been dethroned just this weekend. But that doesn't mean I can't give it its flowers because F1 is the best blockbuster of the year. This is talk about a movie theater experience. This is one that your seat is freaking shaking, all right? You feel like you're in that car. He is a magician, all right? He has mastered the blockbuster formula of the aging superstar. In this case, we got Brad Pitt pairing him up with a young up-and-comer in Damson Idris. Obviously, Javier Bardem's great in it too. It's just, this movie is what movies are about. This is what blockbusters are about. And this is one that it's obviously still just as good, seeing it at home, I'm sure. But seeing this movie in a theater just elevates it to another level. This movie is so fun. It is so good. It is the perfect blockbuster. However, it has been dethroned, people. It has been dethroned by one of the latest movies that I've seen, that it has been talked about, to Kingdom Come. I was worried, similar to like how I mentioned One Battle After Another. So many people were hyping this movie that I was getting scared. But it lived up to the hype, and that is at number 1, Marty Supreme. Marty Supreme is the best movie of the year. This is, again, no spoilers because it is literally just came out. This movie is so chaotic and so crazy that these are the type of movies I like, right? I love the Safdie brothers. Obviously, Benny directed The Smashing Machine. Josh directed Marty Supreme. This one feels more like what they've done in the past, like Uncut Gems and Good Times. This is, which I love both those movies. This is those movies on roids. Timothée Chalamet, performance of the year. Timmy, go get your damn Oscar because it's waiting for you in the mail. He is so good. The supporting characters are amazing. Everyone there's some people in here that aren't even actors, like Kevin O'Leary, friggin' Shark Tank's in here. He's giving a friggin' Oscar supporting role performance. I'm like, what the hell's happening right now? Like, this movie is so good. Tyler the Creator's in it, really good. Gwyneth Paltrow. So, like, this movie, I want to see it again. Like, if it was at home, I would have just clicked start from the beginning again because that's how much I want to go run back and go see it. It's so up my alley in terms of like types of movies that I love, and it's so chaotic and energetic and fast paced that the 2.5 hours flies by, and you just can't help but root for this scumbag. And yeah, man, Marty Supreme coming in at number 1 in a well worth it performance by Timmy damn Chalamet. I mean, he is on an unreal generational run. And with that, before we close, because I said I would, now that I'm thinking back, I think I'm going Timmy, best performance of the year, then The Rock, then Will Arnett. I think Will Arnett's not getting enough love. I thought Josh O'Connell, Wake Up Dead Man, and Michael B. Jordan in Sinners. Those are my 5 best performances of the year. And yeah, Poochie, what's your favorite movie of the year? Want to come here? Come here. Tell the mic. Come here, Poochie. Come on, let's get Poochie in here.
So,
come on, get over here.
I've been a little bit slacking in terms of like actually going to the movies and watching them, but one movie that you mentioned that I thought was the best movie for me in terms of what I've watched this year, I'm gonna have to say The Thunderbolts.
Yeah, let's go. Thunderbolts love. Thunderbolts, best MCU movie of the year.
I have slacked in terms of actually going to theater watching these movies, so I can't have a list as great as Hondo himself, but from I've been able
Thank
to
you.
go to the theaters and watch it, I would say Thunderbolts
Hell yeah.
was really, really good. I kind of enjoyed How You Train Your Dragon also.
I
I'm
love
not gonna lie.
I love How to Train Your Dragon. I think
But
it's
like
great.
I said, my list isn't as in depth because I am behind on watching these movies. But I am going to watch every single movie on this guy's list.
Yes.
Make sure you tune in.
Yes.
Make it your New Year's resolution to watch Hondo's top 20 movies, correct?
31.
Top 31 movies. 31's a lot. But if you want to commit to the top 20, then make it to 31.
Yes.
But some of them, obviously, Billy Knight, not out yet, but Marty
Yeah,
Supreme
yeah.
just came out.
Go see Marty
watch
Supreme,
that.
yes.
That's on my list to go watch after the new year comes.
Yes.
But an amazing list, a solid list
Hell yeah,
from
Pooch.
the best
This-
source in
Come on.
entertainment
Come on.
right
This,
here.
Everyone needs a
Come
pooch in their
on.
life. Everyone needs a
Come
pooch
on
in their
now.
life, baby. The true hype man. Well, if you made it this far, thank you as always. And plus, again, I can't thank you enough for tuning into this channel. It's been an amazing first year, and we have a lot more coming your way in 2026. But for now, thank you for tuning in. And as always, we'll see you at the movies.